Welcome to Klein Field. This is Dr. Joaquin Wallace, and today you have Game 2 of the non-conference matchup between the Nittany Lions of Penn State traveling all the way out to the West Coast against your Stanford Cardinals. Stanford was on the short end of the first game of the three-game set yesterday, losing 15-4. Big innings in the eighth inning where Penn State scored 5 runs. In the fourth inning was the undoing for Stanford, although Stanford jumped out 2-0 early in the game. Let's go over the starting lineup for the Cardinal. In left field, you have Jimmy Natai. Court McDonald will be in center. Brady Reynolds will be in right. From left to right on the infield, Timo Becerra will be at short. Trevor Haskins will be at second. Trevor Haskins will be at shortstop. Owen Cobb will be at second. Brandon Larson will be at first, and Malcolm Moore behind the plate. And Christian Lim will get his second start on the season. The freshman first start was against Cal State Fullerton. Didn't fare too well, went 1 2/3 innings, took the loss in that game. And now he has a chance here to try to right the ship against the Nittany Lions, who are coming in 4-1 on the season. As I mentioned earlier, they were 15-4 victorious yesterday. Starting lineup for Penn State, leading off will be Joe Jakonski, left field. Kyle Hammond will be at second base. Bryce Molinaro will be at third. J.T. Morrow will be behind the plate. Adam Sincere, right field. Taven Kelly will be in center field. Bobby Marsh, DH, and Grant Norris, shortstop, and Kevin Michaels at first base. The umpires for today's game, home plate will be Darren Hyman. First base will be Mike Fitcher. Second base, Mark Buchanan. And at third base will be William Rappelhorst will be at third base. So leading off for Penn State, as I mentioned, will be Joe Jakonski. And yesterday, Jakonski was 0 for 3. Had 4 walks, struck out. And the first pitch taken outside, actually for a called strike. 82 miles an hour. 2:06 is the first pitch. Strike 1 by Christian Lim, the freshman left-hander. Pitches outside, slider. 1 ball and 1 strike. I mentioned Lim, 5'10" freshman out of Nashville, Tennessee, Montgomery Bell Academy. Outside again. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jakonski come into the game, hitting .462. Started 4 out of the 5 games. Pitches up. 3 balls and 1 strike. And on deck will be Kyle Hannon. Hannon was 1 for 5 yesterday. Scored a couple runs as well. Pitch is swung on, grounded to short. Throw over to first, and that'll be the first out of the inning. If you're scoring, 5-3. Stanford trying to break a 2-game losing streak. Penn State is 4-1 under first-year head coach Mike Gambino. Whatever he's doing well is working out well for Penn State on this beautiful afternoon. Hannon will step in, second base. The season 208 has not been able to get on track so far. First pitch outside corner called strike 1. So 0-1. Hannon, senior. Second base. Pitches check swung, no. Just outside. The breaking ball. 1 ball and a strike. Pitches inside. Curveball called strike 2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And he's out in front. 1-2. Infield playing straight up. Pitches grounded wide of first. 1 ball and 2 strikes. McDonald is slated just in left center field. Natai is in left field. And in right field, Brady Reynolds is playing in right center field. And Lynn's ahead to count 1 ball and 2 strikes for the freshman. The lefty kicks and delivers. Pitch is fouled at the plate again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. On deck is Bryce Molinaro. Molinaro had a big game yesterday. 3 for 5, a couple of RBIs, scored 3 runs as well. Had a couple of walks. Top of the first. 1 out. Konski grounded out to short, and Chuck swung. Yes, he went, and that will be the first strikeout for Christian Lim. So Lim with his first strikeout. Check swung. Pitch was outside, so I guess you can call that a backwards K for Lim. Bryce Molinaro step in. Molinaro, the sophomore. 227 on the season. First pitch is taken out, called strike 1, up and away. 89 miles an hour. 2 up, 2 down so far. Early in the first inning. Beautiful day for baseball. Pitch is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. If you're in the neighborhood, make sure you come down to Sunken Diamond Klein Field. It's just an outstanding day for baseball. Slider in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. We're talking about just a picture-perfect day here in Palo Alto, California. Two balls and 1 strike. Pitches inside. Actually hits him on the foot. So that will be the first base runner hit by batsman. Kind of slider inside is 70 degrees so far. So again, outstanding day for baseball here on the farm. Runner at first base. Left-handed hitter. J.T. Morris steps in. Pitches check swung. It'll be grounded to third. Becerra comes in, throws to first, and that will be the 3rd out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 runner left on as we head to the bottom of the first inning. We'll keep it here. Stanford will send up to the plate. Trevor Haskins will lead off. Owen Cobb will hit second. Malcolm Moore will be hitting third, the catcher. Jimmy Natai will be hitting fourth. Brandon Larson will be in the 5th hole today. Timo Becerra, who just made the play, will be hitting 6th, playing third base. Brady Reynolds will be in right field, hitting 7th. Jake Sapien will be the DH for today's game, and Court McDonald will be in center field. And in the field for Penn State, you have Jakonski, he'll be in left. Taven Kelly in center. Sincere will be in right. Molinaro at third. Norris at short. Hannon at second. Michaels at first. Marr behind the plate. And on the mound, getting his first start of the season will be Jaden Henline. The senior will be getting his first start on the season for the Nittany Lions. As mentioned, first-year head coach Mike Gambino has done something well so far. 4-1 for the Nittany Lions, making this trip out west. Stanford will try to get untracked, getting on the right side after losing a couple. It was 15-4, the first of 3. They'll look to try to get untracked and get back on the winning side. You know, and I had a chance to look at the roster of Stanford, relatively new roster, and I've been doing Stanford baseball for the past 5 seasons, and I just happen to have my same scorebook, and I'll go over that as the game progresses, but pretty much an overhaul for this Stanford team. Brandon Montgomery transferred to Texas A&M, but outside of that, you had 1 remaining starter on that team last year. That's Malcolm Moore, and he'll be hitting third. But outside of that, it's a relatively new starting lineup. Owen Cobb started from time to time, but pretty much a new starting lineup. So Trevor Haskins will step in, the junior. The season hitting .312. Started in all four and played all. Has 5 hits, a couple of doubles, a couple of RBIs. First pitch swung on and drilled to first. That was Larson. Well, as Michaels will make the play, it'll be 3 unassisted if you are scoring. So Owen Cobb will step in, have a chance to give you the results of Trevor Haskins yesterday. Haskins was in yesterday's game. We'll get to that just in a moment. Stepping in now will be Owen Cobb. Pitch is taken, curveball outside, called strike one. So 0-1. Pitch swung on, again, foul late to the right side. Cobb finds himself down in the count 0-2. Cobb yesterday was 1 for 5. Cobb, the second base, the senior, pitches up. Fastball, way, 1 ball and 2 strikes. On deck will be Malcolm Moore, sophomore, catcher, slider, inside, no, 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Haskins was first, pitch swinging, grounded to third. Michaels was 3 unassisted. And pitches fouled back over the screen. Count holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Which is Henline's first start of the season. Henline winds up, kicks and delivers. And hit right back up the middle. Off the glove goes to second base. And that would be a 1-4-5 if you're scoring. Deflection off of Henline. And that will be the second out of the inning. Right idea by Cobb. Hit it right back up the middle. But Henline was able to get his glove on it. Kind of ricocheted over to Hannon. He was able to come up and deliver the throw to first base for the second out. So Malcolm Moore step in. Moore yesterday was 0 for 4 on the season, 158. Sophomore has yet to get on track so far. Takes a pitch on the outside corner. Balls finds himself down in the count, 0-1. Jimmy Natai is on deck. Pitches lined in the right field. And that will be the third out of the inning as Sincere was there. So no runs, no hits, no errors as we head to the top of the second inning. No score here at Klein Field. Welcome back to Klein Field. Dr. Joaquin Wallace. You watch us GoStanford.com. Pac-12 streaming as well. Beautiful day. 70 degrees here down on the farm as we head to the second inning, the top of the second inning. And it will be 5, 6, and 7. Sear step in and strike one. So Sincere is one to note. He's on the Big Ten player to watch this season. And that's the second hit batsman for Christian Lim. So that's the second one. That's not a way to start for Christian Lim and the Stanford Cardinal. Stanford gave up 7 walks yesterday. And Penn State made them pay as well. Pitch is swung on a miss. Taven Kelly. Taven Kelly currently is number 5 in terms of career triples, tied with 11 so far. Pitches like a slider away, like a changeup away actually. That's 0-2. So runner at first. Sear was hit and pitch was in the dirt, and I believe that hits Taven Kelly on the foot as well. So an auspicious start for Stanford so far. Back-to-back hit batsmen. You have runners at first and second on an 0-2 count. So Bobby Marsh will step in. Bobby Marsh was 1 for 1 yesterday. A couple of RBIs. And we'll get a visit on the pitching mound. And this is one area that Stanford has to improve on, is they have any aspirations to try to get back on the winning side. Runners at first and second, no outs here in the top of the second inning. Cecere is at second and Kelly is at first, both via the hits batsman. Outfield playing straight up. Bobby Marsh will step in. As mentioned, 1 for 1. Yesterday, a lefty steps in, fastball. Ball at strike one. Couple of runners on so far, no outs. Stanford like to get a double play here. At least try to choke the run off at the plate. This situation here. Infield playing relatively deep. Lined in the right field. That'll be Reynolds. He'll make the catch as Cecere will tag up and go to third. So Cecere's in scoring position. Runners on the corners, first and third with 1 out. As the fly ball to right field as Reynolds was able to track it down. And Grant Norris will step in. Norris was 1 for 3 yesterday, and that one was a home run. Norris with his first home run of the season was yesterday, 3 RBIs coming in. 118 average, runners on the corners. First pitch is drilled in the deep center field. That ball is going back. That ball has a chance. That ball has a chance and is gone. A home run. So just like that, Grant Morris dials it up with this second consecutive game of home runs, a 3-run shot, and just like that, the Nittany Lions jump on top with 3 in the top of the second, and that ball just kept carrying And if you know anything about Sunken Diamond, Klein Field, once it starts carrying on a day such as today, it has a chance to go. And Stanford finds himself trailing 3-0 as Coach Esker's coming out trying to get an explanation. But McDonald went back, and they'll have a consultation with the officials, the umpires, to try to figure out that indeed was a home run. But from where I look, that ball hit off the top. Looks as though it was a home run, but it may have hit just off the bottom as well. But we're going to get a meeting of the minds with the crew to see if it was a home run. But Grant Morris, first pitch swinging, was able to drill it 400 plus just over the glove of Court McDonald. And if it does hold up, that'll be that'll be Grant Norris's second home run. And they're going to go back and take a look at it as well. They will review and see if this indeed was a home run. And so now you have Mike Gambino coming out trying to get an explanation as well. So this could be either the second consecutive game for home runs for Grant Norris, or maybe a ground rule double and one run was scored. That'll be the runner at third base. That's Adam Sincere, who was able to move to third base on a sacrifice fly by Bobby Marsh. And you have runners on second and third because the runner was not moving. We're speaking of Taven Kelly on the pitch. We'll take a look and see exactly how this will play out. But so far, Grant Norris is liking his trip to the West Coast as he homered yesterday. And again, he had one hit yesterday. It was a home run with 2 RBIs. If this stands, he'll have another home run, a 3-run shot, and 5 RBIs early in the weekend. We still have plenty of innings left in this game and a full 9 or more left for tomorrow as well. So this could be a pivotal game. If Stanford does not want to fall down early, this Nittany Lion team who put up 15 runs yesterday on 13 hits, a couple of errors. Stanford was 4-6-0 after Stanford jumped out on top 2-0 in the first inning. But after that, pretty much shut out until the 8th inning when they was able to play a couple of more across. But from that second inning, that third inning on, the Nittany Lions went 1 1/3, 2 1/4, 5 4th, 1 6, 2 7th, and a big 5 spot in the 8th, culminating in 15 runs. So it didn't start off well for Christian Lim, who had a couple of hit batsmen. And you know what they say, when you put runners on via the walk or by hit batsmen, they usually come back to haunt you. And Grant Norris was first pitch swinging, left on left. He liked what he's seen. Was able to park it over the batter's eye, just to the right of the batter's eye, the 400-foot sign. And we'll take a look and see what the umpire has to say. And so it is indeed called a home run. And so Grant Norris, again, is liking his trip to the West Coast. That's 2 consecutive games where he has homered, and Stanford finds himself trailing 3-0 at the top of the second. 1 out, and that was a fly out by Barbie Marsh. But the first 2 runners were hit by batsmen, and the big fly by Grant Norris. And Kevin Michaels, first baseman, will step in. First pitch inside. Ball 1. The first baseman, Michaels, senior, 182 so far. Check swung, laid off. 2 balls and no strikes. After Michaels, back to the top of the order with Jakonski will step up. Rounded out 5-3. Inside, 3 balls and no strikes. 1 hit in the inning, a big one. 3-run home run. 2 balls and no strikes. Outside corner. A get me over strike. 3 balls and a strike. Pitches inside, called strike 2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to number 32, Kevin Michaels, first baseman. Pitches grounded wide of third. Count holds at 3 balls and 2 strikes. There is not a cloud in the sky here. Fine field, sunken diamond. Stanford trying to get on the right side, losing a couple in a row. Pitches outside. Base on ball. That will be ball 4. So back to the top of the lineup. Left fielder Joe Jakonski will step in. First time he was at the plate. Grounded out to shortstop. It's 0 for 1. Pitches a slider, bends over, strike 1. So far, Jakonski is 429. The live stats. Michaels takes his lead off first. Kicks, delivers, and slider again, outside corner. As Lim jumps ahead, 0-2. Jakonski. Jakonski was 0 for 3 yesterday. He's 0 for his last 4. Pitch outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 out. Runner at first. 3-0. Nittany Lions. The big blow was by Grant Norris. First pitch swinging. Pitch is outside. Slider. Count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kevin Michaels on the season has not a stolen attempt, and that will be a called strike 3. And that's the second called strike looking that Kristen Lim has been able to deliver. So 2 outs now. Cal Hannon. Hannon 200 on the season. 1 for 5 yesterday. Struck out his first time out. And your timeout by Cal Hannon. Second baseman. Runner at first. That's Kevin Michaels, who walked. Cal Hannon struck out looking his first time to the plate. Owen Cobb playing on the grass at second base. Throw over to first. Outfield slided just to left center field. That's Court McDonald playing about 10 yards off the second base. Pitches on the outside corner. Strike 1. 0-1. Hannon. Left on left. Stanford trying to get out of this inning to avoid any more damage done. Throw over to first. By the freshman. Stanford wearing their black jerseys, red numerals, white pants, their black hats. Becerra at third, Haskins at short, Cobb at second, and Larson at first. Natai, McDonald, and Reynolds left to right in the outfield. Another throw over to first. Malcolm Moore, the sophomore, behind the plate. So 0-1. Hannon. Pitches inside. Count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike. Flags are pretty much at a standstill. Kind of slightly moved to left to right from time to time, but no win so far. Slider again, no. 2 balls and 1 strike. Molinaro is on deck. Molinaro is one of those players to watch in the Big Ten as well. Pitches, check swung, no. Count moves to check the third base umpire. William Van Raphorst, he says no. 3 balls and a strike. So 2 outs, runner at first, and that will be the second walk of the inning. So we've had 2 walks and 2 hits batsmen. The Nittany Lions are back in business again. As Molinaro, he homered yesterday as well. Molinaro came in with 5 RBIs. 2-run shot yesterday. Slider, yes. Strike 1. It's broke inside. Part of the plate. No balls and a strike. Molinaro 227 on the season. Pitches swung on and drilled down the left field line, and that will be foul. Just outside of the left field line. That had cleared the bases. As a result, that's just a long strike as Molinaro was able to wait for that slider and get the bat hat out in front, but he couldn't keep it in line. That would have been a double. A bases clearing double and a couple more runs for the Nittany Lions. So no balls and 2 strikes. Last time up, Molinaro was one of those hit batsmen. 3 so far. Pitches fouled off into the crowd down the right field line. Count holds at 1-0-2 rather. So 3 hits batsmen so far for Christian Kim. And also 2 base on balls. Pitches again spoiled off. The Lim. Christian Lim came in with a 16.20 ERA. Took the loss against Cal State Fullerton on the 16th earlier this month. Went a inning and 2/3. Pitches up and in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lim came up in the kitchen of Molinaro. Ball and 2 strikes. Runners at first and second. 2 outs. Pitches just off the corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. As Molinaro was able to show his batter's eye there and take a close one off the edge. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Top of the second inning. 2 runners on. Deuces are wild here. Klein Field, campus of Stanford University, as the step off throw to second base as Cobb was covering. Make sure that letting Michaels know that I know you're there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitches inside, fastball. Count moves now to 3 balls and 2 strikes, and the runners will be off with the pitch. So outfield now is playing straight up. Court McDonald right at the batter's eye. Runners at first and second. They'll be moving on the pitch. And grounded to third. Becerra gets up, fires it over to first. And that will be the 3rd out of the inning, but not before the Nittany Lions tack on 3 with the long home run by Grant Norris. As we head to the bottom of the second inning, Stanford trails 3-0. Welcome back to Klein Field as Dr. Joaquin Wallace and Stanford finds themselves trailing 3-0 as we head to the bottom of the second inning. 4, 5, and 6 for the Cardinal will be Natai, Larson, and Becerra. As Penn State was able to get untracked by a long home run by Grant Norris just to the right of the 400-foot sign. First pitch swinging. Stanford finds themselves trailing 3-0. Jimmy Natai will step in. First pitch, slider, strike one. So Natai yesterday was 2 for 2. Pitch was taken outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Natai coming into the game, 474. Pitch is on the block, strike 2. Natai, 19 at-bats, 9 hits, 3 doubles, 1 triple, 5 RBIs. Pitch is fouled at the plate. Natai wears number 6 for the Cardinal. From Sydney, Australia, Oak Hill College. 6'1", sophomore, 213 pounds. For the sophomore. Pitch outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. On deck is Brandon Larson. In the hole is Timo Becerra. Pitch is grounded. Base hit. As Norris was not able to get in front of it. And that will be scored as a base hit. That's the first hit in the afternoon for the Cardinal. And that tie continues on. After a couple of hits yesterday, he's 3 for 3 in 2 games against Penn State. Brandon Larson will step in now. Larson will lefty, steps in, first pitch is down. 1-0. Larson on the season hasn't been able to get a hit. Has played in 2 games, has not started. This is his first start of the season. Pitch is swung on, lifted to left field. That ball is deep. That ball has a chance. That ball is gone. Just like that. Oppo power for Brandon Larson. 2-run shot. And Larson delivers. So Larson, his first home run of the season, Oppo power. And just like that, Stanford climbs back in this game, trailing by 1. So Larson was able to take a 1-0 pitch and deposit it over left field as Jakonski went back, did not have a chance at it. So Becerra will step in now, no outs. And no shutdown inning for Penn State. And Stanford gets right back in the game. Pitch is drilled to left field again. That ball is deep, but that ball is staying in the park as Jakonski will go and track it down in left center field by the big S, the tree, and left center field at 375 mark. So Becerra got a good swing on it, but stayed in the park as Jakonski was able to track it down in left center field. So Brady Reynolds will step in. Reynolds was 0 for 1 yesterday. First pitch is called strike 1. Pitch is outside. Count moves to 1 ball and a strike. Check swung. No. So 2 balls and a strike. Jake Sapien's on deck. Stanford with 2 runs, and the shutdown inning was able to come back, get right back in this game. Pitches low, 3 balls and 1 strike. We mentioned this is the first start for Jaden Henline, the senior as well. Pitches grounded to first. Michaels will charge to be 3 unassisted. That's the second opportunity for Michaels, and he's delivered on the 3 unassisted. Jake Sapien was Sapien. So Sapien started all 5 games played, 118 on the season for the DH. The first pitch, outside. Called a strike. Pitch is swung on and missed. Sapien trying to get untracked here to DH. Again, it started all 5 games played. Which is grounded to Norris. Picks it, throws it over to first. And that will be the 3rd out of the inning. But not before Stanford gets on the board with a couple of runs. 2-run home run by Brandon Larson. And Stanford will head to the top of the 3rd inning, trailing 3-2. Welcome back to Klein Field, top of the 3rd inning. Stanford finds himself trailing 3-2 after the 2-run home run in the bottom half of the inning. Brandon Larson's the first home run on the season for him. And now Stanford's right back in this contest, trailing 3-2. 4, 5, and 6 for Penn State. It'll be Marr, Sincere, and Kelly. And the first pitch is taken up for ball 1. Pitch is inside. 2 balls and 2 balls, actually 2-0. Lamar was the Big Ten player to watch as well coming into the season. Pitch is the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Marr came into the game to get 500 on the season. Currently now at 480. Foul back to the screen. Count moves 2-2. Marr grounded out to short his first time up. Haskins was able to go 6-3. That was in the first inning. It ended the inning, and that will be a strikeout. And that's the 3rd strikeout on the afternoon for Christian Lim. So an interesting game for Lim. He has 3 strikeouts. He has 3 hits batsmen and a couple of walks. He finds himself down 3-2 as Stanford was able to play a couple in that bottom half of the 2nd inning. Sincere will step in, who was one of those that was hit by a pitch that led to the big inning, the top of the 3rd, with a 3-run home run. He started the shenanigans. Then you had Taven Kelly was hit after that, and then the big blow was by Grant Norris, his second home run on the weekend. Pitches inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Pitch is swung on and grounded up the middle. Cobb throws it over to first and was able to get it, throws over to first, but it's a base hit. So Cobb was able to get there, but the speed of Sincere was able to leg it out. And that is the second hit, only the second hit on the afternoon for Penn State. But Malcolm Moore was able to back that play up to keep Sincere at first versus advancing to second. Kelly. Runner takes off at first. Throw down to second, and he will be safe with the stolen base. So aggressive on the base pass. Sincere still second base. And that's his first stolen base on the season. You have a runner in scoring position, which is Taven Kelly. Just like that. Base hit, runner at second, swung on and missed a slider in the dirt. 1 ball and a strike. So it looks as though that was a changeup. Top of the third inning. Stanford trails 3-2. Trying to break a 2-game losing streak. Nittany Lions are trying to take the first 2 on this 3-game set. Pitch is swung on and missed again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Looks as though Kristen Lim is using his slider low and away, and Kelly is out in front, the center fielder. Finds himself down the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sincere, he takes off a third. Hit and run, and it'll be wide of third. So I believe Sincere had the base stolen, but being down 2 strikes, Kelly could not take any chances. As 2 of the 3 strikeouts by Christian Lim has been of the looking variety. They say backwards Ks. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Reset it. Pitch is grounded to Becerra. He'll throw it over high, and it will be safe. So Becerra had plenty of time and threw it high. That'll be an error on Becerra as Larson jumped, but was not able to come down in time. So if you're scoring, that's E5. That's the first error of the afternoon for both teams. So now you have runners at first and second, as Sincere had to wait, couldn't take off because the play was right in front of him. Now you have runners at first and second. Marsh will step in. So right now, with the walks and that 1 error, can lead to another big inning for the Nittany Lions. Marsh takes a first pitch strike. Now Marsh, as you recall, hit a well-hit ball to right field that allowed Sincere to move to second or third. And the next batter was able to drill a home run right center field. There's a throw. Second, the inside move. As Haskins was able to get there. Penn State playing small ball as well, pushing the pressure. Another inside move. Throw is late. And again, runners at first and second. As you recall, Sincere was able to get to second on a stolen base. Pitch is taken down and in for a called strike. So 0-2 to Bobby Marsh. Lim has a chance here with one out. Either get a double play and get out of the inning or a strikeout. Pitch is just off the corner. Yes, indeed. And that will be another backwards K for Christian Lim. And again, out of the 4 strikeouts he has had, 3 are looking. So Grant Norris has an opportunity again to have his DNA imprint all over this game. He has a couple of home runs in 2 consecutive games, one yesterday and a 3-run shot here in the second inning. Has a chance here again. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. And first pitch is taken for a called strike. So definitely Grant Norris is a person of interest right now in the minds of Christian Lim, who's trying to limit the damage and get out of this with no runs given up. Pitch is taken down, 1 ball and 1 strike. So this will be a huge opportunity for Christian Lim to kind of pull a Houdini act to get out of this inning after the errors. Pitch is inside corner. Call it a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Morris 167 on the season, but a couple of home runs so far this weekend. 5 RBIs. Pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 3. And that will be it for Penn State. 1 run, no hits, 1 error, 2 runners left on as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Stanford trails 3-2. Welcome back. Dr. Joaquin Wallace, and you are watching Stanford baseball on GoStanford.com. Stanford will try to even its game in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And they will send up Court McDonald 9-1-2 as Lim was able to pull a Houdini act to get out of that top of the 3rd inning. Stanford now trying to even this game or take the lead. First pitch is taken for a strike to Court McDonald. Jaden Henline, 28 total pitches thrown so far. Pitches inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Penn State 3-2-0 and left 5 runners on. Stanford 2-2-1-0. Pitches taken down, 2 balls and 1 strike. Yesterday, McDonald was 1 for 4 on the afternoon. Pitches taken for a called strike. Count evens at 2-2. 364 on the season. Played in 4 and started in 4. 11 at bats, 4 hits, 1 home run. Pitches fouled at the plate. The sophomore, speaking of Court McDonald, Whereas number 22 from Arlington, Texas. Pitch is lifted just down the third base line. That will fall foul. Donald Pantego Christian Academy in Arlington, Texas. So when I get a chance, I'm just going to go over what I was talking about earlier in terms of this entirely new lineup. And I'm going to go back to a game against the University of Washington last year. Ball is lifted to center field. That's Jakonski, and that will fall foul. We're going to go through that lineup and just kind of give you just a comparison and what I was speaking of in terms of an entirely new roster for the Stanford Cardinals. That was one of the teams went to the World Series as well. And you talk about some of the great players. I mean, Drew Browser's on that team, third baseman. And just to name a few, Brandon Montgomery, who later transferred. I mean, that team was loaded. Matthews on the mound as well. Rios, left field. Eddie Park in center. Martinez. You're talking about some players that have left their mark at Stanford. That pitch is called strike 3. And that's the first strikeout for Henline. And we're back to the top of the order as Trevor Haskins, he'll step in. And Haskins, his first time up, first pitch swinging, grounded out to Kevin Michaels for the 3 unassisted. So this time he takes the first pitch, and it will be ball 1. Slider off the plate. 1-0. Pitch is lifted to right field. Cecere head over, and he'll make the catch. So that would be, if you're scoring, that would be F9 for the second out. And Owen Cobb will step in. He grounded out 1-4-5 off the glove of Henline and head over to Hannon. He was able to gather it and throw it to first for the 1-4-3. Pitch is taken with slider off the plate, called strike 1. So 37 pitches thrown by Henline so far in his first start of the season. Pitch is grounded wide of third. Cobb finds himself down in the count 0-2. On deck is Malcolm Moore. Now, Malcolm Moore was on that team last year as well, started as a freshman. One of the lone holdovers in the starting lineup, grounded wide of third again. Count holds at 0-2. So 3-2, Penn State trying to capture the second game of this 3-game set and lift it to center field. That's Kelly, and he'll make the catch. So no runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left on as we head to the top of the 4th inning. Penn State 3, Stanford 2. Welcome back as we head to the top of the fourth inning. Stanford finds himself trailing 3-2. It will be 9-1 and 2 for Penn State. The Nittany Lions coming in with a record of 4-1 on the young season. And Michaels, who came up earlier, his first time up, walked. So Lim still dealing on the mound. 69 pitches thrown so far. First pitch is ball one. Pitches in the dirt. Gets by Malcolm Moore. 2 balls and no strikes. Two balls, no strikes. Lifted to center field. Maybe Court McDonald has a beat on it. And that will be, as they say, a can of corn, the first out. He'll be scoring F8. Jankowski will step in. 0 for 2, grounded out to third his first time up. And took one looking his second time. Well, that was in the second inning. So 400 average on the young season for Jankowski. Shows bunt. Pulls it back. 1 ball and no strikes. Jankowski came into the game 462. Started 4 out of the 5 games. Pitches grounded to first. As Lim gets over. And if you're scoring, that's 3-1. As Larson was able to lead Lim perfectly for the second out. So Kyle Hannon will step in. Hannon, the senior, struck out looking his first time to the plate. Walked his second time up. 0 for 1. 200 on the season. Pitch. Swung on and missed. It looks as though the freshman Christian Lim is starting to get into some sort of rhythm here after a rocky start. So far, so good from innings 3 on so far. Slider off the plate. 2 balls and no strikes. Actually, 1 ball and a strike, rather. One ball, a strike, and taken the appeal down to third. No, so 2 balls and a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Molinaro's on deck, homered yesterday. 0 for 1 so far. It was hit in the first inning, grounded out third, second. Pitch is taken on the outside corner. Count evens. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Top of the fourth inning. Flags is fairly still. It's kind of moving left to right. And there's a strikeout again. Another backwards K for Christian Lim. As it looks as though he is settling down here as we head to the bottom of the fourth inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Stanford trailing 3-2. Welcome back to GoStanford.com. This is Dr. Joaquin Wallace. And as I mentioned earlier, I just kind of wanted to go over what the lineup looked like last year. 4/21, 2023 against the University of Washington. A night game. Stanford in the starting lineup. Eddie Park, Carter Graham, Tommy Troy, Brandon Montgomery, Malcolm Moore, Drew Browser, Alberto Rios, Jake Sapien, and Owen Cobb. So out of that lineup, 2 of the 7, actually 3 of the 7 are playing this afternoon. Lead off for Stanford now. Malcolm Moore, the aforementioned, one of those starters, is University of Washington. First pitch swinging, drills it in the left field. Was clean base hit. So we know he has the ability to get untracked based upon last year's performance. So Jimmy Natai will step in. Natai already was 1 hit. Chance to hit his teammate to second base. Pitch is taken outside. Fastball. Strike 1. So far, so good for Natai. 500 average. He's been able to answer the bell early in the season. Pitch is grounded in the right field, a base hit. So nice piece of hitting by Natai as the second baseman Hannon was pulled over to second base, and Natai found the hole between first and second. That's back-to-back singles for Stanford, and they're in business. Runners at first and second. No outs. Brandon Larson, earlier, first home run of the season, went big fly over the left field wall on a 1-0 pitch. Stanford is in business now. Pitch is taken outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Larson, 6'6" first baseman out of Rockland, California. UC San Diego. Transfer. Pitch is taken on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Stanford has a chance here to, at minimum, tie the game at 3 with no outs, runners at first and second. Inside throw, no. As Moore was able to dive back ahead of the tag by Grant Norris. Norris has already made his presence known with the home run, his second, 2 consecutive games. Runs at first and second. Pitch is swung on and fouled down the left field line. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So far, if you look at Brandon Larson, if that scoreboard was operating, he'll love to see it. It says 500. Anytime you can see 500, take a picture of that and store that somewhere. Pitch is outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The sophomore. Runners at first and second. Back-to-back singles. Moore lined one in the left field, and Natai was placed it perfectly. Second baseman vacated. It was a ground ball right to right field. Stanford is in business. Swung on and missed. And that will be the second strikeout by Jaden Henlin this afternoon. So Becerra will step in, fly it out to left center field, his first time up, and came right after Larson drilled one over the left field wall. And Jakonski was able to track it down in left center field. Speaking of Becerra, that was the first out of the inning. Pitches slider to dirt, blocked by J.T. Marr. Keep the runners at first and second. 1 ball and no strikes. Stanford finds himself trailing by 1 run, 3-2. Bottom of the fourth, and pitch on the outside corner. Evens the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. Becerra currently 158 on the season. Becerra has 3 hits. Pitch is taken on the outside corner again. Called strike 2 by home plate umpire Darren Hyman. Hyman has worked with Mike Fitcher at first, Mark Buchanan at second, and William Van Raphorst is at third. Pitch is check swung back to the mound, and the throw to first in the dirt, but dug out. So both runners move up 90 feet. If you're scoring, that's 1-3 for the second out. So Brady Reynolds will step in. Reynolds, so far, 500 average. Rounded out to first his first time up. First pitch is inside, no. Ball 1. Opportunity now for Stanford, as Penn State has left 5 runners on. Stanford has not left any on, so this will be an opportunity to play the couple. Pitch is taken up. Evens the count, 1 ball and a strike to Reynolds. Mitchell Reynolds yesterday was 1 for 1. Pitch is blind in a base hit. No, it'll be the shortstop and throw to first and got him. So it looks as though it's headed into center field, but Norris did a great job of tracking it and throwing it to first for the third out of the inning. So if you're scoring 6-3, no runs, no hits. Actually, no runs, 2 hits. No errors, 2 runners left on. It hit to the top of the 5th inning. Stanford trails 3-2. Welcome back, top of the 5th inning. Stanford finds themselves trailing 3-2. The opportunity that bottom half of the 4th, a couple of runners on, was not able to come away to even the score. So it'll be 3, 4, and 5 for the Nittany Lions as Molinaro will step in. 0 for 1. Pitch is taken up. Strike 1. So outside of the 2nd inning, Christian Lim has kind of settled in. 79 pitches thrown so far. So I would imagine this probably will be the last inning, depending on how this inning goes. It's a 1-2-3. We may see him in the 6th inning. It's a long inning. This may be it. Pitches in the dirt, blocked by Moore. 2 balls and a strike. Marr is on deck, the catcher. Cesare is in the hole, the right fielder. Flags are no movement whatsoever. And a strike right down Broadway. Count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's some movement down in Penn State's bullpen. Try to get you some information on that. Pitch is lifted to center field. As McDonald head back, finds a warning track, has plenty of room, and he'll make the catch right on the warning track. So if you're scoring, F8. Right into the shadows as McDonald kind of disappeared. That will be the first out of the inning. Marr will step in. 0 for 2, struck out his last time. So it's an interesting game as Lim has been able to get the outs via the strikeout. Pitch is taken. Slider, check swung. But I always say in this case that Lim is creating his own outs. Has 7 strikeouts. Pitch is lined in the center field. That'll be a base hit. Solid single by J.T. Marr. As I mentioned, depending on how this inning goes, will be the fate for Christian Lim, who has 6 strikeouts rather. Out of his 6 strikeouts, 4 out of his 6 has been looking. So he's been able to create his own out on the mound. And it looks as though there will be a pitching change for the Cardinal. And we'll let you know who's coming in for Stanford as we'll take a break. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back, and taking over on the mound for Stanford will be number 18. It'll be Cassius Thompson, transfer from Duke University, 6'2" right-hander. From Los Angeles, California, Sierra Canyon High School. Last time Cash was on the mound, that was against Cal State Fullerton. Pitched an inning and 2/3 on the 16th of February. So far, he has no ERA. Has not given up a hit, nor runs, no strikeouts as well. He's pitched 3 1/3 innings. He's given up 2 hits on the season, 1 base on ball, 5 strikeouts. And he will face Adam Cesare. Cesare, the right-hander. right fielder rather. 1 hit so far. 1 for 1. Pitches inside, called strike 1. So again, 5 strikeouts so far on the young season, 3 1/3 innings pitched, giving up a couple of hits. Currently, no ERA so far for the South. Kicks, delivers. Fastball right by him. 0-2. So 0-2. Pitch is swung on, foul down the left field line. Oh and 2 on Cesare. 429 currently on the season. Cesare came in hitting .385. Walls and 2 strikes. Pitches swung on again down the left field line. No balls, 2 strikes. Top of the 5th inning. Stanford trails 3-2. Pitching change. Catches Thomas on the mound. Pitch is swung on line to left field. That ball has a chance. That ball has a chance, and that ball is gone. So Cesare, Oppo power. And that's the 2nd home run on the afternoon for the Nittany Lions. Displaying their power. And Cesare was able to drill that over the left field wall. That's the 2nd big fly on the season. And just like that, Stanford now finds themselves trailing again 5-2. Penn State has been able to use the long ball this weekend, and that's their 2nd home run of this afternoon. First pitch is taken up, 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Strike 1. Thomas from the stretch. Lifted into shallow left center field, right center field, and that ball will fall. So back-to-back hits. That's by Taven Kelly. That's his first one on the afternoon. That ball was placed perfectly shallow center field with a base hit. Runner at first. The big hit was a home run by Cesare. It was a no-doubter in the left field, as Natai can only watch. Thomas to the belt. Runner takes off from first, hit and run. You see that Penn State plays a very aggressive brand of baseball, small ball. Marsh is late on the swing on the hit and run. Marsh, left-handed batter in the box. Thomas peers in, kicks, delivers, and that will be called strike 2. 93-mile-an-hour fastball right on the inside portion of the plate. And Marsh's task is to get a double play and get out of this inning. Get Stanford back in the dugout, throw over to first. Taven Kelly dive back. Becerra, third base. Haskin at short. Cobb at second. Larson, who hit a home run earlier, at first base. First one on the season. Pitches inside, blocked by Moore. Runner takes off, and it'll be another hit by pitch. Stanford has been very generous in regards to walks and hit by pitch. That is the fourth on the afternoon. 3 by Lim and 1 now by Thomas. As Moore will go out and talk to his hurler. Runners on first and second, as Larson will play back of the runner at first. Grant Norris will step in, and see what Norris did earlier. He hit the first of 2 home runs for Penn State, and it was a 3-run shot. And that was in the second inning. And Sincere came right back for a 2-run shot. That was in this inning. So Norris takes the first pitch up. Fastball. Strike 1. So Cassius Thomas has shown the ability to create his own outs on the mound. Strikeout. Which is fouled at the plate. 0-2. That's 1 out. That out came way back early in this inning. That was by Molinaro, who flied out to Court McDonald. Since then, we had a base hit by Marr, a home run by Sincere, and ball in the dirt. That will go all the way to the backstop. Both runners have advanced 90 feet. Just like that, Penn State has a chance to add on with a runner at third with less than 2 outs. But as I was saying, Lim's last at bat was against J.T. Marr, and that was a base hit. Ever since then, been a home run, base hit, hit by batsman. Now we have a wild pitch. Runners move up 90 feet. This is a critical moment of the game for the Cardinal. Again in the dirt, blocked by Moore. Two balls and 2 strikes. Again, this is a pivotal inning for Stanford. You don't want to fall behind. All right, multiple runs here. And there's a line drive. That'll fall in front of the left fielder, Natai, and 1 run will score. So Norris' afternoon continues on with the RBI that drove in Taven Kelly. And that's the 3rd run in the inning. And Marsh heads over to third base rather, and have runners on the corners. Still only 1 out. So now it's 6-2, and Penn State is looking to add on. Runner at third, less than 2 outs. And they're definitely starting to take control of this game here in the top of 5. Pitches inside, 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Kevin Mike. Ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Runners on the corners. 1 out, 6-2, top of the 5th inning. 6-6-0 for Penn State. 2-4-1-2 for Stanford. Penn State have left 5 runners on as well. Go to first. Michaels is 0 for 1. Walked his first time at the plate. Fly it out to McDonald. And that was in the 4th inning. Flag starting to ripple in right over the batter's eye in center field. Another throw over to first. Keep an eye on Grant Norris. Norris is 1 for 1 in stolen bases this season. Norris takes off. Throw down to second, and it will get in the center field, and the runner from third will score on the error. So that's Bobby Marsh. He'll score. And E2, that's the second error on the afternoon for Stanford. And just like that, it's now 7-2. You have Norris. Now he's at second base. He's in scoring position. Less than 2 outs. Michaels has a chance. Has a strike. So 2 balls and a strike. And the wheels are starting to come off for Stanford here in the 5th inning, which is outside corner. Called strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Penn State is able to put up 4 runs this inning. They continue on. The runner at second, less than 2 outs. Pitch is lined in the right field. That'll be a base hit. And that looks like that'll score the runner for second as a throw to the plate. Knocked down by Moore. And Michaels delivers as well, an RBI. And Norris scores and 5 runs in this inning. And Stanford now finds himself trailing 8-2 in the 5th inning. And it's all about the big innings. The 2nd inning, Penn State was able to get 3 on a 3-run shot. In the 5th inning, they played it 5-2 off of a 2-run shot. So 5 has scored in this inning. And this has been the biggest inning so far. Which is taken up. Back to the top of the order, Jakonski, who's 0 for 3. I'm sure he's trying to get in on the fun as well. Been a big 5th inning for Penn State. Another fastball called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. And again, it's only 1 out. Penn State is threatening to hit around in this inning. Pitch is lifted to left field. That's Natai. He'll make the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. So Cal Hannon to step in. So Hannon, who's 0 for 2, a couple of strikeouts as well. This is the 9th man to hit in the inning. Throw over to first. No go. Thomas is trying to get out of this inning to stop the bleeding. Stanford finds themselves trailing 8-2. Pitch is lifted high. The foul ground. And great play by Malcolm Moore as he appeared to overrun it, but was able to lean back and make the catch, but not before Penn State was able to put up 5 runs in this inning on 1 error. Left another 1 runner left on as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Stanford finds themselves trailing 8-2. Welcome back to Klein Field. Watching GoStanford.com. Stanford has a lot of work to do here in the bottom of the fifth inning, trailing 8-2, but they'll have to do it against a new pitcher, Mason Horvat. He'll be on the mound for Penn State. Freshman, 6'1" out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Avonworth High School, 12.0 ERA. He's tasked to come in and the shutdown inning for the Nittany Lions as he'll face Sapien, McDonald, and back to the top of the order, 8-9-1. The first pitch called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. So we'll close the book. Out ball to third. Fires to first and safe. So offline throw as Molinaro pulled off Michaels, and they're going to talk about it. But let's close the book on starting pitcher Jaden Henline. 4 innings pitched, 2 runs, 2 of them earned, and 2 strikeouts. Faced 16 batters, gave up a home run. 56 total pitches, 40 of those were strikes. So nice outing for the senior, Jaden Henline, as the umpires would take a look at the play at first base. As Molinaro had to go to his left and threw to first kind of wide, and Michaels lifted off the bag, but now they're trying to see to get his foot back on in time. Three in the second and 5 in the fifth. And 5 was their highest output yesterday in the 8th inning. They had a few big innings. It would say crooked numbers. They had 2 in the 4th, 4 in the 5th, 2 in the 7th, and 5 in the 8th. So they definitely have their hitting shoes on this weekend in Palo Alto, California. But Stanford has to do a much better job of not giving away outs, and the walk is not helping them as well. The walk and a hit batsman alone was the undoing for Christian Lim. And then the new pitcher came in, Cassius Thomas, and he came in and gave up a home run and a hit batsman as well. So this is a long look. They're trying to determine, is Sapien going to be granted with an infield single, or will it be the first out of the inning? We'll wait for the umpire to come in and give us the, and he will be called safe at first. So I would imagine that will be scored as a infield single. And Court McDonald will step in. Struck out his first time to the plate. The lefty, Sapien at first. Stanford has a lot of work to do here. Pitch is grounded to second. Second for 1, back over to first. Double play, 4-6-3 double play. The first twin killing of the afternoon. McDonald first pitch swinging. And that will be the second out. So Taylor made for Mason Horvat. And we're back to the top of the order. Trevor Haskins will step in. First pitch slider on the outside corner. Called strike 1. So a pitcher's best friend, 4-6-3 double play. The first pitch swung on by McDonald. And Haskins finds himself down in the count 0-2. Pitch is taken down. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So lifted foul behind the plate. Penn State coming in, trying to make it happen, and just like that, with the double play, the backwards K by Trevor Haskins. No runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left on as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Stanford trails 8-2. Welcome back to Klein Field. You're watching GoStanford.com. You're watching Stanford baseball here on the campus of Stanford University. My name is Dr. Joaquin Wallace. And Stanford has a lot of work to do as Penn State have been able to put up the old crooked numbers, 2 in the 3rd, and the big inning, 5 in the 5th inning. And leading off in the top of the 6th inning, it'll be 3, 4, and 5. Molinaro, Marr, and Sinceri. And they will face Cassius Thomas, pitcher. Pitches inside. Fastball. Strike 1. Thomas to the belt. Kicks, delivers. Inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Penn State is riding a 2-game win streak. Wins against Monmouth, Army, and they lost to Monmouth as well, but they beat Stanford the first game here. And they beat Army the 18th, so they're looking to continue their winning ways, their 3rd consecutive. And right now, things look positive for the Nittany Lions. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitches way outside, waved at by Malcolm Moore. Count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Molinaro is 0 for 2 so far. Pitch is lifted to right field. Deep. That ball has a chance. That ball is continuing to go. That ball is gone. Home run. So another opposite field home run. That's the 3rd on the afternoon for the Lions. The Nittany Lions have come out here and showed their power as Molinaro with his 2nd home run on the season. Just like that, Cassius Thomas has given up 2 round trippers, both opposite field. Tack on another run. And that ball got out in a hurry. as Reynolds could only look. First pitch is swung on and fouled back over the screen down the left field line. So after scoring 15 runs yesterday, the Nittany Lions have already tacked on 9 here in the top of the 6th inning. 1 ball and 1 strike. J.T. Marr, 1 for 3. Just lifted again, foul. Marr grounded out. Short his first time up. Struck out in the 3rd and singled in the 5th. One ball, 2 strikes. Pitches popped up in the infield. Now it'll be Haskins, and he will make the catch. That's the first out in the inning. And Sincere will step in. And last time these two teams matched up, Sincere, home run, opposite field, left field. And that was the second pitch that Sincere saw and deposited for the home run. Pitch is inside. That was Sincere's second home run on the season. Pitch is taken, called strike. Sincere has had a productive afternoon so far. 2 for 2. 2 RBIs, singled, and a home run. Pitch is inside, called strike. Count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Top of the 6th inning, Stanford trails by 7, 9-2. Pitch is inside, strike 3. So Cassius Thomas with the strikeout, and that's his first strikeout since entering the game. Came in with 5 strikeouts on the season. Now he has 6. This Kelly, he'll step in. Pitch is down. 1-0. Kelly, the center fielder. 1 for 2. It was hit. Actually reached on an error as well. Back up the middle. Thomas knocks it down. Throws the first. And that will be the 3rd out of the inning. 1 run on 1 hit. And it was a big one by Bryce Molinaro. As we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, Stanford finds themselves trailing 9-2. Welcome back, bottom of the 6th inning, and Stanford trailing 9-2 against the visiting Nittany Lions of Penn State. Penn State coming in with a record of 4-1, 2 consecutive wins. He took the first of 3 games against Stanford yesterday. That was 15-4, that afternoon tilt. Stanford will send up Cobb, Moore, and Natai. 2, 3, and 4 against Horat. Pitch is taken outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Horat got the pitcher's best friend, the first double play of the afternoon, 4-6-3, to kind of snuffed it out for Stanford. A ground ball to second. Throw over to first as Hannon delivers, and that will be the first out of the inning. With scoring 4-3. Malcolm Moore will step in. Moore had a loud single and left field. He was followed with a back-to-back hit by Natai. Stanford was not able to get untracked, get on the board there. Now they find themselves trailing. Pitches slider away, caught the outside corner. That will be strike 1. We know Moore has the ability to get untracked. Displayed that last year. Ground ball back a second. Go to first. And that will be the second out. That's a shortstop. Norris was playing the right side of the bag. Was able to deliver. The old shift. If you're scoring that, that's 6-3. So Natai will step in. Natai's been positive so far. Couple of hits. He continues on. Natai right now, 524 in the young season. 2 balls and no strikes to Natai. Mentioned all the way from Sydney, Australia. 3 balls and no strikes. Natai trying to get something started with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and he'll take a fastball outside corner. 3 balls and 1 strike. Horat so far with 15 pitches thrown. 7.71 ERA. Came in with a 12.0 ERA. Lined softly in his center field. That will fall in front of Kelly. And Natai continues on. That's his 3rd single on the afternoon. So Stanford on the afternoon has 6 hits. 2-6-2 and 2 errors. Penn State 9-8, 0, and 6. Pretty clean in regards to errors. Can't ask for anything more. Don't want to give up extra outs. And they've done a great job so far. As Larson stepped in, home run earlier. That was in the 2nd inning. Struck out his last time to the plate. Swung and miss here. Finds himself down to count 0-1. Runner at first is Natai. Takes the lead. 2nd strike on the at-bat for Larson. Finds himself down 0-2 as Horat takes a look at his wrist. See what pitch he wants to throw here. Inside, just off the plate. As Molinaro thought it was a 3rd strike as he was headed to the dugout. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 6th inning. Runner takes off. Lined in the center field, and that will be caught. A diving catch by Taven Kelly. And that's how we'll end the bottom of the 6th inning. We had no runs, 1 hit, 1 runner left on as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Stanford trails 9-2. Welcome back, top of the 7th inning. You're watching Stanford baseball on GoStanford.com. Penn State with a 9-2 lead. They will go 7, 8, and 9. Marsh, Norris, and Michaels. It's Cassius Thomas still on the mound. First pitch taken outside. We have some defensive changes as well as in left field. We Champ Hampton. And then moving from left to first will be Natai. Natai now will be playing first base, and Hampton take over in left field. 2 balls and no strikes to Bobby Marsh. Pitch is swung on and missed. 2-1. So far, Marsh is 0 for 2. He was hit by Thomas his first time they faced each other. That was in the 5th inning. Came around and scored. Pitch is outside. 3 balls and a strike. It appears as though, every time that Stanford has given a walk or a hit batsman, the Nittany Lions have been able to make Stanford pay. That's the name of the game. Give you opportunities. Lined in the right field. That'll be a base hit. Just out of the outstretched glove of Owen Cobb. That's his first hit on the afternoon. So Grant Norris will step in. And there's some activity down in the bullpen, and that will be it for Cassius Thomas. And it looks as though we'll get a new pitcher, and we'll let you know who that person is when we return back to Klein Field right after this. Welcome back to Klein Field. Dr. Joaquin Wallace, thanks for joining us this afternoon. And the new pitcher for Stanford Cardinal will be Nathan Flashley. Flashley will take over for Cassius Thomas. Flashley is a graduate out of Atherton, California's Sacred Heart Prep. So far this season, 2 innings pitched, 3 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs, 1 base on ball, 1 strike. Comes in with an 18.0 ERA. So he's tasked to get Stanford back into the dugout and face Grant Norris with no outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Norris so far has had a wonderful afternoon, a 3-run home run, and a single. He's 2 for 3. Pitch is swung on first pitch, wide of first, strike 1. Well, Norris, the shortstop, currently 200 batting average. Came in 118, so able to lift his average. A productive afternoon so far. 1 ball and 1 strike, runner at first. A single by Bobby Marsh. Outside, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. On deck is Kevin Michael. Michael's 1 for 2. Fleischle kicks, delivers. Low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 9-9, 0-6 for the Nittany Lions. 2-6-2 and 3 for Stanford. Couple of errors, hits batsmen, walks, has been the demise for the Cardinal this afternoon. That's lined in the left center field, and that will fall in front of the left fielder. And that will be a base hit. Grant Norris. This is 3rd on the afternoon. Marsh moves up to second base. No outs. Kevin Michaels will step in. Hampton just checked in, and in baseball, always seems the ball finds you when you just check into the game. First pitch, strike. Fleischle getting out in front. Couple hits already in the inning. Runners at first and second. No outs. Stanford trails 9-2, top of the 7th inning. Pitches inside, and that will hit Kevin Michaels. So another hit batsman. And let me make sure I'm going to get a count on this. That's the 5th hit batsman. Stanford pitching. Pinch runner comes in as well. That'd be number 3, Billy Gerlot. Gerlot was the pinch runner. Joe Jakonski, he will step in. So the bases are loaded, full of Nittany Lions. And no outs. At the top of the 7th inning. Pitch is outside. 1-0. So since entering the game, Fleisch has given up a single and a hit batsman. It's been the theme for Stanford all afternoon long in terms of hit batsman. Pitch is lined in the right field. That will fall. A couple of runs will score as well, as Jakonski will head to second, and 2 runners will score. A 2-run double by Jakonski. But just like that, they continue on with their 10th and 11th run of the afternoon. So Marsh and Norris score easily as Gerlot, whose pinch run goes all the way to 3rd. And still no outs. as Hannon will step in now. So back-to-back games, the Nittany Lions have been able to put up double figures in scoring, grounded up the middle, behind the bag at second. Nice play by Cobb for the first out of the inning, but the runner scores. And that would be Gerlot. He'll score. Jakonski will head over. And if you're scoring, that's 4-3 for the first out of the inning. Now you have Jakonski. He's at third base with less than 2 outs. And Molinaro will step in, who has a home run. Molinaro with a second home run. Infield is playing in now. Curveball. Strike one. So home runs by Molinaro back-to-back as well yesterday and today. Pitch is up. So Molinaro came into the weekend with no home runs. He's going to leave with at least 2 as of right now. But we still have plenty of baseball remaining today and tomorrow. Pitch is off the hands in the center field. Jakonski will tag. He will come home. Here's a throw, and he will dive in for the 12th run. So Jakonski with the speed is able to score on the sac fly by Molinaro. And now it's 12-2. So in baseball, we would say have a plan at the plate. Molinaro knew exactly what you want to do in that situation. Runner at third, less than 2 outs. You want to think up the middle. And he was able to deliver. It's a 13th run in the afternoon. Pitch is grounded wide of first. It's JT Marr. Marr is 1 for 4. His lone hit was in the 5th inning. Single up the middle. Likely trying to get out of this inning. Limit more damage done. Pitch is lifted down the right field line. Giving chase is Natai, and it will go out of play. Jimmy Natai, we mentioned, moved from left field to first base. Champ Hampton took his place in left field, which is grounded wide of third, and Larson Day is done. Productive day for Larson. Had a home run, his first one of the season as well, so you have to be pleased if you're Coach Esker and the coaching staff. But I'm sure he's not pleased with Stanford's inability to throw strikes. So far has been the undoing. And that's a swung on and missed. And that will be a strikeout for JT Marr. That will be the 3rd out in the inning. But 4 more runs in the inning. And Penn State with a 13-2 lead as we head to the home half of the 7th inning. Welcome back. You're watching Stanford baseball on GoStanford.com. Pac-12 streaming. Stanford finds themselves now trailing 13-2 against the visiting Nittany Lions. And I'll tell you what, if you're Coach Mike Gambino, you have to be pleased so far on how his Nittany Lions have come into town and has swung the bat extremely well. 28 runs in 2 innings, and we still have a few more innings remaining. So leading off for Stanford would be Becerra, Reynolds, and Sapien. First pitch swinging, lifted to center field. That's Kelly will make the catch. So 1 pitch, 1 out. So Brady Reynolds will step in. Reynolds so far is 0 for 2. Trying to get untracked. Pitch is taken for a called strike 1. Right at the letters. Since Horvat has entered the game, been pretty much spot on. Slurve ball for a strike. Jumps out 0-2. Only 6 hits for Stanford. Pitches down, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 6 hits in 7 innings. The other end, the Nittany Lions was 11 hits, 13 runs, and left 6 runners on. Pitches up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sapien would be on deck, but he was lifted. Ground ball the first, and that will be 3 unassisted. So pinch hitting for Sapien will be Luke Lavin. Lavin, a freshman for Laguna Beach, California, San Margarita Catholic High School. First pitch is taken. Ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Following him will be Court McDonald. Pitches down, 2 balls and 1 strike to Luke Lavin. Lavin on the season trying to get his first hit. Count even, 2-2. Lavin scored 1 run on the season, has 1 at bat. This will be his second, and fisted to the bench of Penn State. Again, Penn State has come in here this year under the first-year head coach Mike Gambino and has flexed their strength with 3 home runs in this contest. Count now moves to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Pitches outside. Lavin works a walk. Mike Gambino, as we mentioned earlier, first-year head coach, was hired on July 3rd, 2023. Coached at his alma mater, Boston College. Ranked 2nd in program history with 291 wins. Lifted Boston College to a couple of NC2A regional appearances in 2016, 2023, and NCAA Super Regional appearance in 2016. He had 5 seasons of 25 or more wins and 8 seasons with 10 or more ACC wins. BC also played in the championships with ground ball just out of the reach. The second baseman, Hannon. That was the first hit on the afternoon for Court McDonald. Solid single. Runners now at first and second. First hit of the inning. So back to the top of the order. Trevor Haskins will step in. 0 for 3. Struck out licking his last time at the plate, and that was in the 5th inning. Bottom of the 7th inning. First pitch called strike 1. Stanford trails 13-2. Couple outs here. It just swung on and foul back over the screen. Slider lifted to left field, barely deep, and that will be right at the warning track, and Kelly was able to track down for the 3rd and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. A couple runners left on as we head to the top of the 8th inning. So what's going on here? So it appears that the game is over. So I was not aware of this, but this game appears to be over. And we'll take a break to get you caught up right after this. So welcome back to Stanford, as it appears that Penn State will walk away with the victory 13-2. In the bottom of the 7th, with the top of the 8th inning. And there will be no 8th inning, but it appears to say a mercy rule, and I was not aware of that new rule in the NC2A. But Stanford will now fall to 1-5 on the season, while Penn State will improve to 5-1. Take a look at some of the stats. The winning pitcher would be Henline, as he will get his first victory on the season for Penn State. So, as we ended here at Klein Field, I'd like to thank everyone who joined us this afternoon on GoStanford.com. My name is Dr. Joaquin Wallace. I'd like to thank our camera crew and our production team as well, as Stanford is on the short end of this one in Game 2 of this non-conference matchup. We will see you tomorrow and see if Stanford can get back on the winning ways and break their 3-game losing streak. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow.